What's up guys, my name is Jake Meyer and this is my review of the Aputure Amaran 100X. The Aputure 100X is a bicolor light that was released in early 2021. Aputure has been known to create really high quality lights that are solid build quality and that can be used on film sets of all shapes and sizes. Aputure is a company that has built lights and monitors and all sorts of tools for filmmakers all across the world. In early 2021, they released their Amaran line, which is supposed to be a journey back to creators, back to people who create content on a daily basis. The 100X is a bicolor light that has a color temperature range of 2700 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin. Lights that go outside that range I find don't have all that much of a regular use case scenario and tend to be more of a special use case. My thoughts about this light are that it is perfect for content creators. It doesn't have the build quality that you would expect from Aputure's Lightstorm range of lights. It's not metal like the 120D Mark II, the 300D, things like that, and the fan is kind of loud. It also doesn't have the output that you would expect from something like a 120D Mark II, which I tested the 100X against. The first thing you'll see is that at 25%, the 120D Mark II is significantly darker than the 100X, both at 3200 and 5600 Kelvin. I found this really interesting and thought that it was a testament more to the 120D Mark II than it was a knock against the 100X. The 120D Mark II has a great dimming range, and even when you go all the way down to 1%, you're actually going down to 1%. The 100X doesn't feel like it has the versatility or the flexibility to go as dark or as bright as the 120D Mark II. At 50%, I found all three tests to be pretty comparable. 5600 on the 100X and 5600 on the 120D Mark II seemed to be pretty comparable, with 3200 on the 100X coming in a little bit darker. When I went up to 75%, it was easy to see that the 120D Mark II was significantly brighter than the 100X. Whenever I got to 100%, the 100X, both at 3200 Kelvin and 5600 Kelvin, significantly lagged behind the 120D Mark II. You can see that my face is totally blown out with the 120D Mark II, and there's still some information recoverable from the 100X. Hey, Editor Jake here. I realized that I didn't explain anything about this test, so I tested the 100X's output against the 120D Mark II. I know it's not a perfect test. The 100X is a bicolor light and the 120D Mark II isn't, but I thought it would be helpful to test the 100X at different color temperatures versus the 120D Mark II that is a single color temperature light. So I did this on my Sony a7 III, shutter speed 1/50th of a second, aperture f2.8, and ISO 100. Picture profile off, and I did this so that I could get an image straight out of camera. I didn't have to do anything to this image afterwards. Anyways, back to the video. I really do appreciate all the things that Aputure put into this light for the price range. I picked one up for $250 from B&H Photo and Video, and I placed a pre-order, so I was one of the first ones to get the light. I've taken this on a couple different shoots. I've used it as a hair light, I've used it as a key light, and I will continue using it as my key light in my YouTube videos. I don't think that this light has the build quality to use every single day or to use in a rental house setting. I think that this light is much better suited for those who have a home studio where you're not going to have lots of exposure to the elements, you're not going to have lots of things up against this light that could damage it. The connectivity with Sidus Link is incredible, and I am really appreciative that Aputure has developed this technology and that I can control this light as well as the other lights that I plan on using in my studio with just my phone or my iPad. I really like the connectivity aspect of this light, and it's one reason that I'll be keeping it and using it more often moving forward. One thing that they added in the production version of this light is they added this little bit of reinforced plastic right here. And why they did that is there were some problems on their pre-production models that people would tighten this down. They would tighten down this knob as tight as they could to get it onto their light stand, and then the plastic would crack. Even though there's this metal on the inside that was still keeping it firm and keeping your light safe on the light stand or whatever you had it on, it still wasn't going tight enough and without cracking. So they added this reinforced plastic right here, and I thought that that was a nice touch. Moving forward, I won't be using this light as a key light on my commercial sets that I do. I would use it as a hair light, or I would use it if I just needed to fill up a room, but I don't think I would use it on anything outside of an interview where I'm going to have a light source really close to me. I'm using the Forza 60B right now, and it doesn't have the output that I need, and it's significantly dimmer than the 100X. There are plenty of lights out there, so why should you buy the Aputure 100X? Well, I think the first thing is if you plan on purchasing any more Aputure lights, whether it's their budget lights like the 100D, 100X, the Aputure MC, or you want to go to their more higher end lights like the Nova P300C or the 600D, Sidus-Link compatibility is something that is just incredible. The best reason to buy this light is because you have the flexibility of the bicolor temperature and you have the connectivity with Sidus-Link. If you plan on using Aputure lights more than one, then it's worth it just to have the Sidus-Link compatibility. This light is perfect for people who are just going to keep it in their studio, who are going to have this light set up all the time. They can just flip it on and turn on the light, adjust the color temperature as needed, adjust the intensity as needed, and just leave it right where it is. It doesn't need to be anything more than that. If you need a light that you can throw in the back of a car, you can throw in a bag, and you can just go to your next set, well, I think that you're going to want to look somewhere else. It's not going to be my workhorse light. If I need something where I need to just really pack a punch and I don't need any flexibility in color temperature, then yes, I will look for the 120D Mark II. If there's any chance that I need to change the color temperature at all, then I'll start looking at the 100X. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please leave a like down below and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.